Good news, bad news, Rob.
Talk to me.
Bad news is no DePunk to lead off this episode.
What?
We don't have it to pop on. That's the bad news.
Okay.
Good news is, for the first time in the history of our podcast, we're staring into each other's eyes.
So brown your eyes are. Wow.
Are they?
They are.
Hazel.
Hazel,
Yeah. Yours are brown, huh?
Thank you.
And you have a special little guest with us today.
I do. I went to Seattle this weekend and picked up Boogie from Julio.
Boogie is a, how big? 17, 18 pound bulldog?
I'd say about 18-pound bulldog, English bulldog.
We are in the law office of McNeice and Wheeler. They've been nice enough to have us here all day long.
All day. A bunch of interviews.
Bunch of interviews we knocked out for you. Fifty7 Media is on board here to help us out too. And the puppy has not made a sound.
A couple snores
Couple snores.
in the interviews, but they can't hear it.
There's been a lot of shrieking females who have come through the office to check out the dog.
It's understandable.
That's how it goes.
That's how it really works.
So a ton of interviews. They've been so nice to us all day, McNeice, Wheeler, and 57 Media, allowing us to knock out 4 big-name interviews.
Talk to them.
One of which you're going to hear at the end of this podcast. It's one Adam Morrison. Maybe you've heard of him if you're a Zach fan.
Who is that guy?
Adam was great with his time. We thought it would be like 25 minutes and ended up being...
How long was it?
How long, Vinny? An hour? 50 minutes. How about that? We have a producer for this one, too.
Oh, I know. We were official today.
So we're going to be referencing Vinny over here, who's on our far right-hand side. It is Tuesday, so if you're listening to this on Tuesday, we're recording it today. It's fresh for you.
Yep.
Big one tomorrow. But before we get into that, Rob, big game on Saturday. How'd you watch it?
I was listening on the radio.
So you listened to Adam?
I listened to Adam, and then because I was driving out to Seattle, and I was just pulling into Seattle around 7 o'clock, so I just got in, and I'm just so proud of our guys, to be honest with you. I couldn't, just to go in there, it was like a bombing mission. We went in there, dropped the troops, kicked ass, and took names.
You know what I thought about all day long? Was the late tip and how you brought up how, because it was 7 o'clock here, 8 o'clock there, because Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, so it's an extra hour. And 8 o'clock, I can't imagine how hard that must be for the players. As a fan, Rob, I couldn't responsibly start drinking until like 4 o'clock.
Right.
Because you can't start at like noon.
No, and those late games, for sure, they throw you off a little bit. Just your whole day the next day is kind of like... Oh, man, that game's... You feel it.
And the older I get, I'm feeling it big time.
I'm sure. I bet.
So I stayed with the Evans family, and the Hernandez family was there with me.
Good old Dirty.
And they brought up your name a lot.
I'm sure Dirty did.
Peter Evans one time was screwing with him, saying to the kids, I think Rob's coming. Like you were Santa Claus or something. And they'd be like, where's Rob coming? I swear.
That's my godchildren, man. Can't be putting that on them. They're gonna be all stressed out.
So it was a great time, and I can't remember if he alluded to this or not, but I had a real fun time Friday night.
The pictures that I got from other people, not you. It showed that you had a really good time.
We won't get into details.
I'll get into one detail.
Okay, get into a detail.
Your bare feet were on another man's coffee table.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
And I've apologized, and I apologize again to Peter Evans. Again, we won't get into details.
No.
But I saw Adam for the first time now since I saw him Friday night in Tucson, and he goes, "Good to see you're okay, man." Give you a little pat on the shoulder, like, "Good to see you're with us."
Yeah. The pictures didn't look like that.
No.
On to another.
I was with old friends. Big time win.
Hell of a win.
In Tucson, man.
Hell of a
win. I'll go over the numbers real quick for you. Kispert, 18. Just a solid night for him. In 34 minutes, our buddy Phil.
Yep.
Petrusev, depending on who you ask, 60 points, 7 boards. Ayayi. Keeps playing well.
Keeps playing hard, man. He's putting out good energy. Good energy's coming back to him.
Big game in Seattle. 15 points on Saturday, 7 times. You know who really impressed me, though?
Who?
Gilder.
He came to play that day.
He was crazy efficient. Ended up with 13 points and 7 boards.
We need that from him going on.
If we have Woolridge playing like a true point guard, because
Yep.
he's been playing recently not like a score first point guard. He's
Right.
kind of like a utility point guard, which is exactly what we need. And then we have Ayayi and Gilder playing. Sky is the limit. And then, of course, we had Timmy, who looks like kind of like an Arizona Border Patrol agent.
Oh,
Had 7 points and 3 boards.
I don't think his body looks like a Border Patrol agent.
No, but neck up.
Yeah, for sure.
Neck up.
I'm thinking of a lumberjack when I see him.
I mean, I think if you're a lumberjack, once you've chosen that career path, you've thought about making a change and going Border Patrol.
You know what? I love that cat. I saw him yesterday working on his game, improving before practice. He was in there early. So I think he's going to have a great career at Gonzaga.
So I don't know if you're a big rankings guy, and I actually meant to bring this up to Adam, but we're number 2 in the country. Does that mean anything to you?
It shouldn't, because we shouldn't have to focus on. I keep bringing this up, and I hate doing it, but I don't think we need to worry about the outside noise so much. Does that make sense?
Totally.
I just feel that with the outside noise, we can get discomplacent and we can lose where we are, and so we just need to really buckle down and turn off the outside. I'm trying to turn off Boogie's outside noise right now. He's snoring like a madman.
That's good for radio. It's adorable.
Oh man! But at the same time, for them, I really think they need to just stay focused on their goal, and that's getting better each and every day.
I think having a 2 by our name for a little while, assuming we can keep winning, it's good for the fans. It's good for recruiting.
It's great for morale.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's great for chemistry. It's all that. But we just can't lose who we are.
Yeah, it's December. It doesn't mean anything.
That's what I'm saying. And you and I both know, and you know from just covering and watching so many Zag games, that when it comes to conference, no one cares about your ranking.
No.
They just care you're Gonzaga, and everyone hates us in this conference. So I think for us, we just need to just buckle down and get better today.
One thing I want to talk about, though, is we took their biggest punch early in the game. We were down probably 7-8 minutes by the 8-minute, 12-minute media mark.
Yeah.
And then we battled back, and then for most of the second half, it was us until the last couple of minutes when they made a run. Were you ever concerned there?
Well, of course, we all think about the past, and I'm not bringing that up, and I don't want to ever keep bringing it up because the past is the past, but we don't want to see us lose a huge lead like that. And give our boys credit. You look at them, and that's fighting adversity at its finest right there. When a team comes back and gives their best punch, and we still are maintaining the lead, we got to give props. Granted, we need to fix these free throws.
Oh my God, do we ever? 17 of 30 we were in Tucson. We missed 13 free throws. Eventually, it hasn't happened yet because Michigan, we got blown. Our only loss, we got blown out. We almost lost to Oregon. That would have been an issue. We won. It doesn't matter. But one of these games, if we're shooting just over 50% from the line, it's going to come get us.
That's something that they can control as players. And I was actually watching a documentary. It's called The Art of Coaching with Bill Belichick and Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
So I was in Coach Few's practice, and he was yelling, "Do your job.
Do your job."
Did you hear when they kept saying that?
That's their rallying cry, both of them. Yeah.
Both of them. And
yeah.
I was telling Coach Field, I'm like, damn, did you watch that? He's like, nah, but these guys and this is something, a part of their job. They need to focus on free throws. Bad. Like, we need this to be 75, 80%. I'm sorry. That's realistic for a ranking of a 2 team.
If we're in the number 2 team in the nation, we shouldn't be shooting 65% from the line, which is what we are.
Right.
So we're number 2 in the rankings according to the AP poll, 301st in college basketball from the line.
And we don't want that to be our Achilles heel.
I will say this, though, and again, take this with a grain of salt because it was Christmas break for Arizona.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because every time Gonzaga plays Arizona, it's the same colors.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing, Rob, 25, 30% Zag fans down there.
Well, they're all down there because it's warm.
Because it's warm. It was 70 degrees. It was perfect.
I'll go to my nice summer or winter place in Arizona.
Yeah. But a couple of times there were Zag chants.
Really?
Which apparently is unheard of in McHale. Unbelievable atmosphere still. But I'm guessing if students were there, you wouldn't have heard Zag
Okay,
chants.
I was going to ask you, before I lose my train of thought, do you think Arizona Wildcat basketball is the biggest thing in the state of Arizona for sports?
I do. I do, yeah.
Like all professional levels. I think it's the biggest.
Yeah. Cardinals, Suns. I mean, maybe the Suns. They
one
pushed
point,
it a little bit. Yeah, with Nash.
When Nash was there, maybe. But now I can't think of a perfect. Diamondbacks, no.
Nope.
Cardinals, no.
Cardinals, no.
Well,
Arizona State, anything, no.
Exactly.
No, it really is. And it's people who are. There's a lot of Zag fans here who never went to Gonzaga, no affiliation with Gonzaga, which is fine. It's fine.
Right.
Down there, obviously, if you went to Arizona, which is a good amount of people, because Arizona's a pretty big school.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, that's just the thing they hold on to.
Right.
It's Arizona basketball.
Right.
So it's special in that way.
Right.
And we went down there. I don't want to say kick their ass, but we won by 4. It should have been more than that.
Kick ass and take names. The win's a win, man. I'll take that.
Arizona shot 38.5% from the field. They didn't break 40%.
Now, granted, they were feeding their bigs, and their bigs were getting. They seemed pretty efficient, but at the same time, I thought we did a great job of taking that punch, and it showed because they shot such a poor percentage.
Their big freshman point guard, Nico Mannion, who we weren't sure if he was Irish or Italian or what his deal was.
Yeah, he's from Phoenix.
We held him to 7 points.
That was big time.
That's huge. Our guards beat him. Obviously, he was top in the scouting report. They had another freshman, Josh Green, who had 17 points, but most of that was down the stretch when we were. It almost felt like we took our foot off the gas.
Yeah, and that's where we just, with this ranking of being number 2, we can't take our foot off the gas because we can't sleep on the teams that are coming in. You already know North Carolina's coming in. Yeah, they've lost the last 2 games. Maybe 4, 3?
Now that they've lost to freaking Wofford, I think they've lost 4 of their last 5.
Right. So we can't. That is a wounded animal.
Yeah, it is.
And that is where you got to be very scared about being near a wounded animal because they can strike.
Them losing to Wofford, already having lost 3 or 4, that makes this game worse, a lose-lose situation.
Right.
If we win, great, but we were supposed to.
Right.
We're the number 2 team in the nation.
Right.
They're without
Absolutely.
their best player, and they've lost 4 or 5. If we lose, nightmare.
Well, not in the sense we still had some great wins, but it's
lose-lose.
I know what you're saying, but it's still losing to North Carolina. That prestige alone, it's not like you're losing to bums. And with them, they're going to pick it up in the ACC tournament in the ACC. So I'm not too worried about that. Don't sleep on Eastern either.
On Saturday?
Eastern is no joke.
Have they been good?
They lost to UW by 4.
Are you supposed
10?
to be saying that because you have a lot of friends who listen to this who are Eastern guys?
No. I used to go out to Eastern, but no. I never.
Tell me about the Cheney party scene.
It's a lot darker ethnically. I'm being real, If you want a good black party to go to, I'd go out to Cheney.
Yeah.
And if
the football program helps.
Yeah, the football. Well, nah. A lot of.
Oh, really?
A lot of cats go out to Eastern, and if you want a good, black party, I'm going out to Eastern Cheney. Viv put me on that.
Oh, Vivian, our good friend Viv Freisen.
Yeah, she put me on every time she would want to go out to a party, and see some black people and hear some black music. Yeah, let's go out there, and then
Speaking of, I was going to tell you this, but I guess now is a good time to tell you, as any that were on the podcast, Sean Evans and I, victory 40s of OE on Saturday night after the game.
Shut up.
Dirty had already gone to bed, otherwise he would have had one.
A 40?
We had 2 40s, and guess what?
Old English?
OE. and they were plastic, bro.
No,
How
that's
disappointing
where
is
they
that?
lost me. I'm going to do a public service announcement because I used to be a huge advocate for Old English, and I still am.
I was going to say, what's changed?
No, nothing's changed. I really love Old English. Now, I don't know why, but they need to. I know they're trying to be environmentally safe, I guess. I don't know. Is that what it is? Is the plastic?
I don't know if that was an Arizona thing, but probably not.
No, they're here.
Oh, they're plastic here too.
Yeah, and they're like the hole at the big, like when you're drinking is huge.
It is. I know that. I noticed that.
I don't want that. I want to feel like I'm sipping a glass 40.
Here's my thought process. Maybe it's because those 40s are an absolute weapon when they're glass. You could.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It might be environmental.
Couple of
with
those.
the glass break, someone could cut their feet.
Yeah. Or even not even with a club. Kill someone.
I feel like with a big plastic bottle, though, full of malt liquor, and I smash that across someone's face, they're going to feel a lot more pain than an empty glass that cracks over it, right?
Absolutely.
You know, so Old English, hey, we would love you to be our sponsors, and we could be like the Billy D. Williams of Colt 45.
Fire it up. Do you want anything? What's the poop situation with the new dog at home?
He's actually had one poop in the house.
One poop in the house?
Yeah.
Is that your training, or you just?
That is my training. Well, he's really easy. You know, Boogie. That's his name, Boogie.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure that out, but he just sleeps all the time. So when he does wake up, you gotta expect him to go poop.
I'm going to do a live Instagram. This is as the pod's going. There he is.
Boogie. Say what's up, Boogie.
There he is. Say something. We're recording.
Hey, Boogie. He was snoring recently, so they'll probably hear him.
That's good for the pod.
Yep.
Good watching experience for you, though?
Absolutely. Yep. I was able to watch the last end of it, and I'm just proud of our guys, how they really stuck in and fought those guys off when they were coming back. That showed a lot.
We both listed Arizona as two of our top rivals. Before last night, it was 3-6 their favor. Now it's 4-6. That's a real rivalry thing. We won 3 straight against Arizona.
Moving on up.
Listen, that's a sign of a program on its way up, and I don't know if Arizona's plateauing or whatnot, but I think
I think we're just getting better.
Let's leave it at that.
With age, we're getting better, man.
Let's keep it positive. Well, Boogie sleeps a lot, Rob. What do you say we talk about sleep?
Ooh, talk to me.
Let's talk about sleep.
Yeah.
Listen to these studies from Harvard and Johns Hopkins.
Oh, Johns Hopkins. Does he still smoke weed with Will Ferrell?
I think Johnny Hopkins and Sloan Kettering are still smoking weed.
Oh, man.
Chronic sleep deprivation has been shown
Chronic sleep deprivation
has been shown to lead to depression, diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. We need 8 hours of sleep, people. How much do you get?
I probably get 7, 6.
That's actually a good amount of sleep for a dad.
Well,
right?
I have to get up at 5 to get my time.
So you are in bed at what time?
I try to be in bed by 10 o'clock. 10:30, I'm trying to be asleep.
How long does it take you to get to sleep once you're in bed?
Oh, once I hit the head on that, I'm 15 minutes.
Really good for you.
Oh.
Rob, you can attest to this. One of sleep's biggest problems, temperature. Tough to get good sleep if you're too hot. That's why, Rob, I want to tell you about Pod by 8 Sleep.
Talk to me.
It's the Pod by 8 Sleep. The Pod by 8 Sleep is a high-tech bed designed specifically to help you achieve optimal sleep fitness. Fitness is such a buzzword.
Yeah.
When you talk about sleep, because it's healthy.
So am I going to improve? That's what I'm asking.
You're going to improve as a human. You're going to improve as a podcaster. You're going to improve as a father.
Wow.
But you're already perfect on all 3 of those. So.
Oh. Shucks.
It was developed by leading sleep researchers tracking over 43 million hours of sleep. That's a lot of hours of sleep that they're tracking. It's a crazy comfortable bed. Sleep longer and deeper so you wake up refreshed and are ready to take on the world. How about this, Rob?
Who's recording it if someone's sleeping?
Some creepo. Maybe I should get into that.
Oh my God.
That sounds like listen.
Well, you listen to little kids while you're in the stall. We'll go back to that later, but go ahead.
Rob, I know what you're thinking. Buying a new bed, buying a new mattress is a big investment.
Correct.
Right? It's a lot of money. Maybe you have buyer's remorse, you want to return it. How about you try the pod for free for 100 nights? Where do I sign up? If you don't like it, you send it right back.
What?
Tell me where the bad deal is. It's also one of those deals if your significant other doesn't like the same temperature you do.
That's most nights.
You could adjust the pod.
So is it? It's a bubble. What's a pod?
It's something like that. It's something like that. They haven't sent us one.
We'd like one, please.
We definitely would like one. For a limited time, get $150 off your purchase when you go to 8sleep.com/pro, EIGHT sleep.com/pro, 8sleep.com/pro. And again, the people at McNeice Wheeler and 57 Media, above and beyond, taking care of us today. And we're not just saying that because two people are here staring at us recording this podcast.
And we had pizza.
We had pizza.
Rocky
Rococo. We had a bunch of cool guests come in. They treated them like royalty all the way through.
What do we have?
I'm so excited. I'm going to read another ad. How's that sound? This one's by MyBookie.
Slow down now.
It's an exciting time for sports. Sophomore sensation Lamar Jackson is redefining what it means to be a dual threat quarterback. Odds on Jackson to win the MVP race was at 50-1 to begin the season and have obviously plummeted since, making MyBookie's prop selection the most attractive selection ever. We touched on this last time. You're not a big sports betting guy.
Nope, never did. I've never been able to.
Even when you were like a kid, like before, I guess you didn't we don't have any money when you're kids. So there's nothing to bet.
Maybe a lollipop. Bet you a lollipop. I'll bet you my lollipop.
So if you join right now, MyBookie will match your deposit halfway, all the way up to $1,000, Rob. That means, you ready for this?
Money, 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 money.
If you deposit $2,000, they will give you an extra $1,000 in free money to play with.
Wait, there's such thing as free money?
It's called mybookie.com.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you this, little side note, if you're a betting man out there, not that I'm one,
I never seen you.
the Zags have been dominating the spread as of late. And
I'm not touching this one.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just saying, I heard this from a guy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is use your promo code, or I should say our promo code, BLV, capital BLV, to activate the offer. Once again, that's promo code BLV to get your extra cash from MyBookie. Bet, win, get paid. All right, the first guest we're having on, Rob.
Talk to me. Who is it?
Adam Morrison.
The Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison's one of those... He's one of those guys where you'd never have him tell you this, and he actually listed his top 5 Zags for us, and
he would never throw himself.
He's obviously one of the top 5 Zags,
and he knows
time.
it.
He
knows it, but God bless him. He gave us his top 5, and it was really cool to see. There's someone I don't think people are expecting.
Yeah, He's obviously one of Spokane's biggest celebrities, and he walks around. He's like you. He's what? 6'9", 6'10". You're 7 foot.
6'9", 6'8".
But he's still one of those people around town that you go, oh, there's Adam Morrison.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the coolest guys. We're thrilled to call him our friend, and he gave us our time.
And he was great. We appreciate him. Thanks, Adam.
Oh, before we get into Adam. Special thanks to everyone who I saw at Gentle Ben's before the Arizona game and literally took their phones, liked the podcast, subscribed to the podcast, and rated the podcast.
That also goes, I got to do a little shout out to Sunny Flora. He's doing my teeth on Friday.
Oh, dentist guy.
Yeah, dentist guy. So I wanted to give a little shout out to him. He's doing it's on South Hill. It's Inland Northwest Dental Group.
I have had my teeth done there.
No, you haven't.
South Hill, right on Perry.
I'm not too sure exactly. It's on South. He's gonna see me. He's gonna give me the address, but I will definitely.
I think so.
Keep my teeth go check out my man Sunny Flora at Inland Northwest Dental Group.
And again, thank you to 57 Media and McNeice Wheeler. It's because of them. Over the next few weeks, we have very fun interviews for you.
Bingo.
All right, we're here with
the great.
What you might have heard of him. He came to the program from a little town called Spokane, Washington. Made a little bit of a name for himself. Adam Morrison, 2005 Player of the Year.
I was 2006 multiple Players of the Year. I wasn't the Wooden Award though.
You weren't. Who won the Wooden Award?
JJ Redick did, yeah.
And you and JJ are still cool.
Yeah, I went on his podcast, talked to him here and there. He's a good dude. Yeah.
Didn't he grow up on a farm, like some kind of?
I have no.
I know he grew
idea.
up some kind of like a different grew up on like a type of farm where he had like grow his own vegetables and live off the land type thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass. I have no idea. JJ, who knows? But Adam, thank you for being here, man. We really appreciate it.
I've been looking forward to this opportunity.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure. It's been on your calendar for weeks
It
now.
has.
Well, people need to know the real inside of Adam. I like to tell people like Adam could bust people's ass like today. If you really wanted to play, you could drop 25. I remember we played in the summer league, and you were the leading scorer of that summer league that year when you were with the Clippers. And I tell people all the time, Adam's one of the best scorers I've ever seen, still to this day.
Appreciate it.
And but people really need to know the true Adam. He's not this guy who lives in a bunker or some bullshit like that. No, this guy likes some crazy. He has some badass cars. He did have some bad. I know you sold a couple, but you have some badass cars, and he listens to some badass music.
Can we address that off the bat? Because I know you went on PMT to kind of clear your name after.
Yeah.
But how did that get lost in translation? That you had the Doomsday Bunker.
I owned 80 acres up north for a while, and
You have toys.
I have toys.
Yeah, you have toys that are guns, and you want to shoot.
yeah, and I wanted to shoot, so I used to take XGU players, when they were done,
Yeah.
go shooting with me. So I think how it got misconstrued is, that I had, a bunch of weird stuff, which is not true, I guess. But yeah, so it was kind of hearsay. But the problem was for me is the way the culture is now in the States. You get labeled on a certain side of an ideology. You can be held that can be held against you. So that's what made me so upset about it. I shoot guns. It's a subculture in Washington. Most people do. It's a right that we have. You can take it how you want, but it's like going fishing, or it's like going golfing for some guys. So that's where it kind of came out. And then also, I keep my stuff in a storage deal in my house. So if that's a bunker, it's the legal way to do it.
Right.
So it's like, it's not underground, but I have like a safe and what you're supposed to do. But that was obviously in the past, and it was just misconstrued. And I always thank the Barstool guys for being real and like getting me on and being cool about it. And
for sure,
kind of help me out in that way.
For sure.
You've been back with the program on the media side of things now for, this is your third
season.
year?
Yeah. Yep.
And I got to tell you, because Santangelo did it for a million years.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you get on opposite Tom Hudson. I'm always thinking, like, I wonder how Adam's going to do. Like, let's see how this goes. And from day one, no bullshit, you have been incredible.
Thank you.
Now, what kind of feedback have you gotten? Because I can't have been the only person to tell you.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I get a lot of people that share similar sentiments that you do. It's hard, though, because when it's your friends and you're a friend as well, it's hard to be like, well, I must be doing something right, because everybody's going to be nice. Mm-hmm. So I'm always trying to kind of ask people what I do.
How to improve.
And, because I know I say yeah every time that I go into a take, the little things like that you don't notice. But I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And I just try to give my perspective on what's going on the floor. That's all I really try to do. And I try to be as unbiased as possible. Sounds cliche, but people don't want to hear, guy travels for Gonzaga and say that's a bad call. No, he traveled, or he fouled, or I like this situation that Coach Few's doing. Then I try to give insight to what the player's mindset would be, and also what a coach's mindset would be. So I enjoy it. It's fun.
What's life on the road like as a media guy?
Huddy and I got the best job. We show up usually before the team gets there, so that usually involves beers and lunch, on like a random Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And then we just have the game the next day, and the only commitment I have is team meal, so I can go over the scout, and I don't even have to go to that if I don't want to, and then show up to the games.
I remember a couple of years ago in Portland, you guys were stuck, radio guys were stuck in some awful place.
Yeah, we were at the Moda Center. It was the old center, and they put us like mid-level in a corner where like you
couldn't see the game.
Yeah, your view is obstructed, and poor Huddy's been doing it for years. His eyes are not as good, and he'll admit that. And so like he's literally like doing the George Costanza squint. Remember that episode? And so we're just struggling. It's my first year, and so that was interesting. And I was like, I don't understand why they put us up this high, but it was a good experience. We had fun, and it was, like I said, it was my first year, so kind of got the bad stuff out of the way, I guess.
Yeah. Now that said, we play in a conference that has some great cities and then some not so great venues.
Yeah.
What's the worst place to call a game at WCC?
The worst atmosphere would be probably just Pacific, and
Pacific's just the worst all the way around. That city.
Yeah, well, look.
It's a bankrupt city.
It's a city that's struggling. Obviously, you can tell that, but the people there are very proud, and so tread lightly how I'm going to define But we went to a In-N-Out Burger after a game before we drove to Walnut Creek, and it was actually the SWX guys got robbed in In-N-Out. Like their car got robbed of all their camera equipment.
I didn't know that.
And it was like, I'm not trying to blast their business, but it was like it was 10 p.m. and it was packed. It was well lit, and they literally broke their window down, stole a camera within like 2 minutes.
Like Jordan Caskey?
It was Chauncey and those guys, because it was the year that they had to cover the game because nobody covered it. So they went down and covered it. And so that gives you a little insight of kind of, when you check in the hotel and they tell you to stay in your room, it's a little bit rougher area. But not just that, it's the atmosphere there is not great. But, that's an issue that's making its way to here, talking about atmosphere. So I always want to be nice to other teams too, because ours is, it's gotten a little bit stale a little bit.
Oh, should we go down that road now?
You guys can.
Come on.
It's fine.
Because
it's not
right.
Not like a secret.
It's like it's a statement of fact. Yeah. Alex Hernandez was talking to me about how disappointed he was the last couple of games that the students, it's in session, and albeit we're playing a lower tier team, but that shouldn't matter. There should be that.
You have to reconnect with the kids, I think. You have to figure out a way.
Well, they're needed.
They're absolutely needed, but this generation is different.
You said that all the time when we talk.
It's different. So you can't be a get off my lawn person, right? You have to figure out what these kids like to do, how you get them pumped up before a game, if that means bringing in a DJ, whatever. But you got to figure out ways for them to be more engaged. And this is not a knock on the university, but sometimes you have to, if you have a good brand, you have to recycle it, right?
Right.
And also, like, if you're a student, why would you want to wait in line?
In the cold,
I understand that.
To see a game you're going to win by 40.
To figure out a way to make a line system via your phone. Okay, so then you all digitally have to get in a line per se, but you can show up and not have to worry about doing it 2 hours to maybe get a ticket to a game that it doesn't really. So there's a lot of things that I think that will get addressed. Our guys are good, but I mean, we saw that last game. It was 1/3 of the third.
There was 97.
And that's got to be alarming to people around this area.
Well, it's frustrating because, like you said, it's such a need for them because it makes our home court advantage.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's part of recruiting. It has a lot of things.
100. If you're as a recruit, you know this. If you go in and you're looking and you're like, where's the students?
Exactly. Where's
that atmosphere? It really does change the whole. And I don't think the students realize how much.
Well, see, I think
they impact
absolutely. Student bodies impact games, but also I always keep hearing, well, why aren't the students showing up? Well, we got to give them a reason to show up.
Right.
And the product on the floor is obviously better than it was years before, right? But you get complacent when you win a lot. That's human nature. But also, look, when they come to games, you got to get them excited. You got to get them pumped up. The kids are different nowadays.
I don't know.
Short attention spans. It's nothing against them, but you got to entertain people.
You always said that when you were coaching at Meade. You said it was different. The kids are different coaching now.
Yeah, they just are. It's just how they were kind of raised.
You said like. Because I remember
it started like 20 years ago when everybody's special, and that's not a bad thing. But self-esteem was a bigger issue, and which is fine.
Right.
But also you have to teeter that balance with, I think, today's generation of how you talk to them. And it doesn't mean they're soft or they're dumb. It's just they were brought up that way.
Right.
And it's even the school systems. That's how they.
Everyone's winners.
Exactly, and I hate being the guy that's like, oh, that's soft, because it's not really soft. It's what they've been taught.
Right.
And
they don't know any better.
They don't really know any better per se. Not saying they're dumb. It's just, and so you have to entertain kids nowadays or they don't come. It's just
there's just so many more distractions now.
Absolutely, there's so many more things to do, as far as just going to a game,
or just playing.
That's true.
Cats aren't playing as much, or because they're rather be in video games,
absolutely,
or on their phones.
Yeah, exactly. With like you were talking about earlier with coaching, it's just we lived in the gyms. That's the only thing we had.
Nothing else to do.
There was nothing else to do. I wanted to get out of the house. Now it's like Xbox Live, obviously the social media stuff. You're always interacting with somebody else. So it's definitely interesting.
It's crazy.
Speaking of, it was well documented when you were in school. You were a big Halo guy.
I was.
Do you still get on the sticks?
Not Halo, but I'll play BF1. A little bit Call of Duty now.
Ask him who won the last FIFA.
Ask
him who won the last FIFA.
I'm guessing Rob beat you in FIFA.
He beat me in one game. So, since we're in a law office, how about you tell the truth and how many games have I won?
He's whooped my ass in a lot of games. We don't need to discuss numbers.
You're not under oath, but we are in the office of McNeice and Wheeler.
He plays with this Chelsea team. It's bull.
You're just not very good at something.
Oh my God!
Wow, how would you rank how good you are? What games you're the best at? Is it FIFA?
FIFA probably would be the best. I've been playing it since when was the last 06 World Cup game? So I've been 10 plus years. And then it just varies from shooter to shooter. I don't play much as anymore. I
kids. Kids, you can't have to.
It used to be like you could play from 5 to midnight. Now it's like get the kids to bed and you get an hour's with.
If that,
and then you're just like, okay, it's time to go to bed.
How old's your oldest?
11.
So you're not probably far away until you welcome them into the video game world, right? Are you?
She plays like the Fortnite and stuff a little bit. She likes FIFA as well, but I don't have a need. I don't want to be the person that introduces them to fake violence. I'll let the society do that for me.
But then once she does that, once she is exposed, then you've got a bond with your daughter.
And actually it's one of those do as I say, not as I do, because it's a bad habit. So
so you try not to do it around him?
Well, and I would be like, don't waste your time. It's a waste of time.
As you spend 9
it's like
hours
watching bad TV shows or whatever. It's just a vice, waste of time. So I would tell my kids that, be a hypocrite and tell them don't play video games.
I'm on my kids' Q's ass all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
you're just wasting your time.
I'm like, dude, but at the same time, as a parent, you're like, man, I just need that break.
Yeah,
a little bit. Like, go downstairs, go play on your video games just for an hour. Just
give me
a break. Give me a little bit of a
Nothing
break.
wrong with that.
No,
absolutely.
But at the same time, you're like, dude, you've been down there all damn day.
Yeah.
Like, go outside, go do something. It's crazy.
Adam, you mentioned you tossed out the idea of getting a DJ in McCarthy to keep the kids fired up. First time I had heard that idea, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But Rob was telling me a little bit about you and your music choice.
Mm-hmm.
Did I hear Motown?
Yeah, kind of. I guess my music taste would be considered more feminine.
No.
No. Yes.
It's not feminine. It's I would just say you have like it's more eclectic.
Yeah.
Than what you give as it like what you look at.
For a
if
white-
I saw
for a
you,
white person?
yeah, for a white boy from Spokane. If I saw you,
Appreciate that.
I would see you. I would not expect you to be listening to the music you and it's not like hardcore rap either.
Before you get into it, just judging you on as a book, I would honestly guess rock, like maybe a little classic rock, bordering on heavy metal.
Yeah.
How far off am I?
I've had that taste once in my life when my mindset was different. I mean, that's real. And music's kind of your mood,
Where you are.
your
Vibration,
vibe.
yeah.
And so you're not wrong. But I just, like I said, I like, your classics.
Billy Ocean.
I like Billy Ocean. I like Madonna. I like Janet Jackson. I like Aretha Franklin. I like all that stuff.
Yes, you didn't know that.
Wait a
Deep
minute!
funk. Yes.
I'm so glad I'm
My
just finding
parents,
this out now.
my dad listened to funk a lot, so I listened to that too. And
Aretha Franklin.
Her pop years are great. They're really good. And I got 2 daughters, so when I'm on the boat, I'm not going to be listening to heavy metal, okay? And then I'm not going to expose them to the filth that is awaiting them in society.
Like what? Like rap?
I listen to a lot of rap, but
Yeah.
they're too young.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm not, they're going to eventually listen to it, and I won't bat an eye. But you get what I'm saying?
I'm picturing the Morrison family.
No, he's got like
R-E-S-P-E-C-T on the
he's
boat.
got like this like he's got just good vibe music. I don't know how to describe it. It's
You
just
just got to get on the boat, Jack.
Yeah.
I guess you got a backhanded invite. Way to invite yourself to my.
Right.
You hear that? I got invited onto Adam's
got,
boat.
like, it's like like if it's old rap, it'd be like if it's rap, you'd hear like some like LA rap. I would say.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
some
what
stuff.
West Coast and stuff.
some
Yeah.
West Coast stuff.
I like everything except country.
I was just gonna say, where do you stand on country?
I hate it. Yeah, I just if you throw in Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, stuff like that, like I'm not gonna be objection to it.
Yeah.
But like the new stuff is just not for me.
So,
Just can't do it.
any of the poppy stuff?
No, I can't stand it. No,
What about Jody Messina?
don't even know what that is.
She did the like heads Carolina, tails California,
I can speak for
somewhere
this man.
here,
Yeah,
somewhere. Okay.
No, it's not for me, but I'm not one of those people. Like if I'm at a place and they're playing it, or like it's part of a group and somebody wants to listen to it, absolutely. You know what I mean? But not when I got control of the aux. Nope.
We went roundabout, but I do want to know your favorite student section to call a game at.
Oh,
In the current W's. BYU?
BYU actually is really good, and this may sound funny, but the BYU student section, most of the time is probably sober, and this I'm not comparing ours to theirs in that sense.
No,
I'm
it's
saying
fair.
that if you just get kids excited, you don't have to worry about all the ancillary stuff. Okay, so theirs is fantastic. But also we're seeing it when we're there. Okay, so then that's a little bit of a discount. Santa Clara gets pretty good
Santa
Rough
Clara.
Riders.
when you're there. Yeah,
Santa Clara is pretty
But
good.
again, they're only there when we're there. And so
San Fran was all right because but that atmosphere was so small when
Yeah.
Rex was there.
And they've got construction going on at USF, so it's
Yeah, they're
weird
expanding.
USF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Good
how
for them.
you live are probably 2 minutes from there too.
My current
I
spot
want to
is-
know where
yes.
the hell do you? Because every time I bring up a building, it's like, oh, I'm 5 minutes from there, and I'm 10 minutes.
Oh, well, I live probably 4 blocks from USF's campus.
and then you work
in Haight. And then I work in Pooptown, USA.
Pooptown. You know where Pooptown, USA?
No.
I work in
So where he
know about
works,
this?
there's an app on your phone.
where it
You can
shows
see-
you where people taking a shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Who knew you could have monetized that? Why couldn't I have thought of that?
right? It
I mean,
almost
right?
feels
Like
yeah.
somebody else takes your shit, I get paid.
yeah,
Amazing.
so
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
he works there, and as soon as he walks out, they had a meeting, right?
Yeah, San Francisco had a press conference where they announced the poop patrol in the city. So it's probably like, I don't know, 30, 40 state paid or city paid employees who are literally going around with big pooper scoopers, poop patrol. and it's in Soma where I work.
That's
South of Market.
That's San Francisco for you.
That's
Which is
crazy,
right by,
man.
but obviously, there's
Unbelievable.
great parts of San Francisco. There's great parts of San Francisco. The new Chase Center is right down the street from where I work, and that's
Oh my God!
to use the word.
You're not
it's-
selling it, man.
that area is super
I know
gentrified.
San Francisco is a beautiful city, but I do not need to be there. It's a cool city to visit for a day or two, and I have to admit, it's fun to be there, but I'm good.
It's funny too because people are always like, "How can you tell the difference between dog poo and human poo?" I'm like,
You can
"You can tell the difference.
size and texture.
Size and texture,
Looks
yeah.
like a Snickers bar.
Dog poo for the most part, it's always the same consistency. Human beings, we're all over the map. You know what I mean?
Oh, he had curry.
Yeah, right.
Patrol. So, as a citizen, what do you think that you should do about that problem?
As a citizen, we're so down the toilet, no pun intended, already. I don't know how we fix it because they do have the restrooms that you wheel around and people are allowed to go in there. But of course, yes, it's like a big trailer.
That's actually a good idea.
It's a trailer
That
with
makes sense.
restrooms, but then it's only a matter of time before that gets abused
So, yeah, it's.
for a number of things. We didn't bring up Poop Patrol with Mayor Woodward.
I don't think
what-
that's what her biggest concern in this town. Yeah, we have a lot of homeless people, but
How long is the mayor's term in Spokane? Is it 4 or 6?
I think it's 4.
Is it
she
4?
said 4, I believe.
I think it's 4.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm good on going to San Fran. What would be your favorite city playing if you had like out of all the cities in not college but NBA,
Miami's the best.
Miami,
Yeah, it's just the most beautiful. It's different.
Toronto?
Toronto's up there too. Toronto is definitely a different animal. Yeah.
People don't. I was so surprised when
yeah.
Kawhi left. I really thought I get LA. I get it. If you're from there,
Yeah.
I get that. But if you're king in Toronto, I
You're
don't.
having a good time.
I don't see why you'd want to leave.
I'm waiting for you guys to expand here a little bit.
Toronto's just such a multicultural city,
Yeah.
and it's diverse, and there's so much to do throughout. It's
Very fashion city too.
It's a- yeah,
like
it's-
bourgeois.
Yeah.
And it's nice, man.
it's a clean. It's a Canadian version of New York.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's what
Fake
exactly
one.
what it is.
It's a Canadian.
Beautiful people, but high end. You'll probably spend $500 just walking outside. Just doing a normal day.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
No, it's that. Chicago's nice.
Yeah, I wasn't there much, honestly, or just never went out there.
Chicago's a cool one. Well, Jack, what cities you been? What's your favorite?
My favorite city, I like Vancouver, BC a lot, to be honest with you.
good call.
I'm a big Vancouver guy. I'm not just saying
Vancouver is
that
a
for
good
present
No,
company.
Vancouver is a gem.
Yeah.
People don't realize how great of a city that is, and
Right.
it's like hidden.
Was just in Tucson, but then I spent yesterday and Sunday in Scottsdale. Every time I'm in Scottsdale, I love that place.
I'm sure you do.
It's spread out, but the people are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Not to sound
No,
shallow, but
no.
everyone's just gorgeous, and it's sunny every single day.
Do you think it's just because everyone is looking at each other? That's what brings more pretty people down that
I
way.
don't. That's gotta. It's
The sunshine, man.
it's
That's
gotta
what
be.
people
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
down
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
there.
yeah,
And it's cheap.
it's
In
way
a good
cheaper.
way. Yeah, in a good way. It's awesome.
It's way
Love
cheaper
Phoenix.
than LA. That's what I don't miss that at all. I don't miss California taxes. I don't know how you do it.
Now you guys were around Kobe for 2 different parts of his career. Do you ever compare Kobe stories?
We have, I guess. I was lucky. I saw him before when they were struggling. Like we had a game in Charlotte. He had 58 on us when I was with the Bobcats. My rookie.
Yeah.
Kwame, it was that Kwame
B.
Roney
Cook,
was on that team.
Like they were decent, but
Yeah.
that's when he was just like he
Putting
would
up.
pass, and that's 40 straight. Like so he was hard on teammates, and I saw.
and you were just, so you're like, well, what am I getting myself into?
No, when they started winning,
Yeah.
but I saw him hard ass on some teammates, but he wanted to win. And then once we started winning, so he was always
Yeah, he was
tame when I was there.
He was cool. He was.
'Cause we were winning, So he was, yeah.
He's just. I tell people he's whatever you think he is, and on the sense of he's human. He has different days. There's days where he's happy to be in the gym, and there's days where he's just like, I'm going to make everyone else better, and I don't care what it takes.
All Kobe really cares about, obviously, is winning. But if he wants guys that compete, and that means either on the floor or in practice or like in life, that mindset. If you have that, he's cool with you.
No,
if you don't, if he thinks you're a pussy in any way, like whether you're,
and he'll test you right away.
He'll test you, then he'll fucking.
You lost him, and you'll never get him back.
Well, he'll just kind of fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's all he really is. It's his mindset of win. But
and how can I get the best out of
exactly?
How can I get the best? And so he will talk to certain people certain ways. His whole thing was, "Hey, we don't have to be best friends to win the championship." Mm-hmm. So with that mindset, let's do our jobs, and then after we win the chip, then we can talk 10 years later and be the best friends and talk about all the memories and stuff we did in all that time. But right now, let's just do what we need to do to get the job done,
Did you have much of a relationship with Jordan when you were in Charlotte?
No, he just bought the team, or he was in the process. He wasn't even the owner yet when I was there. He was around us a few times. Yeah. He just his whole, like, I've been obviously around stars and famous people to a certain degree, and his aura is totally different than anybody you've ever been
Next
around.
level.
It's like God walking into a room, and like he just has this presence. Like anywhere he goes, obviously everybody knows it, but when you experience it yourself, even when he's around like other NBA,
he's
other millionaires and shit, you're still like, fuck, that's the fucking dude right there.
Yeah, it's Michael Jordan, man.
You can tell me to go park his car and I'll fucking do it right now.
Right.
Whatever. And so that was pretty cool. But yeah, he was kind of on the outside more.
Who was on that Charlotte team? Tyrese Thomas was on there? Did you?
No, Tyrese was after me.
Because you were all rookie that year, right?
I was second team, all rookie team. And then, so we had Raymond Felton. I think he's playing for
that
Oklahoma
one
City.
blows my mind. God bless him.
Yeah.
For an unathletic point guard, I'll call it what it is. He's an unathletic point guard. He has been able to
extend it out, absolutely.
Especially out of that North Carolina team.
Yeah.
If you look at all that, Sean May was in that roster.
Rashad McCants was good.
Rashad McCants was the top player to come out of there.
It was,
Marvin Williams.
Marvin Williams was the
freshman. I think he's still in. I think
he's still playing in Charlotte.
I think he's still playing. So Raymond Felton.
We had Sean May. Mecca Okafor was obviously really good. Great defender too. And then we just had it was mostly Gerald Walsh was starting to come into like his prime.
His own.
Yeah, his prime right then.
But
we were expansion team the 2 years before, so it was all kind of guys that were thrown together.
Right.
I say so. There was some weird. You go from Gonzaga and then
it's
you
like
go to that dynamic
Vegas team. It's like that Vegas team kind of the hockey Vegas team.
Yeah, expansion.
They just put a bunch of guys
together, and then so it was different dynamics, and then go from that to LA was different as well because you see, obviously an A1 premier brand on the planet to a starting expansion team.
Now,
like the difference of like just the everyday operations is like mind blowing.
Well, and you know this best because you've been on, and I wish I was on a winning team, but what's the difference between like a winning franchise and losing?
Just like the attitude.
Because when you're on a losing team,
it turns quick in the pros because
right.
If you start losing and some guys are established, but if you're not like established, and I'm talking maybe second or third contract, you automatically start thinking of like, how can I outplay my teammate instead of how can we win? And it's natural.
It's a dog eat type place.
And then it turns bad, and it can go so quickly. That's I think the hardest thing for coaches at that level is more managing the X's and O's. It's how you can get everybody to have the same goal.
Right.
So you get to where it's funny where you're, if you have a good game and you lost, if the other guy had a bad game, you're like, well, it's going to look better for me. And it's such a toxic, bad way to play sports in any way. It's terrible. It's awful. Guys don't help each other out. You know, it's fake hustle. And
last 5 minutes, let's say there's the last 5 minutes of a game and it's a blowout. I'm not saying every team is like this, and every guy is like this, but guys are like, all right, I gotta get mine. Like it's because especially with the stats, how your stats work.
Do you like a per 48? Yeah, like
okay. If I'm getting in with 5 minutes, I better get 3 rebounds. I better get 6 points, and within these 3 rebounds, otherwise it's not going to look good for me in the long run. And then it becomes a real jack fest. You watch the game. If you ever watch a blowout NBA game, watch the end of it. You'll see guys
especially with a bad team on the other end.
Yeah. Teams are just pulling. Guys are just pulling, and as they should, because it's really like cutthroat in that part at the end of the bench type deal. People don't realize that, I don't think.
Before we get into your starting 5 all-time Zags, best NBA teammate.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Favorite NBA team, not necessarily the best guy. I would guess that's Kobe, your best teammate.
No.
Okay.
He was a good teammate, but you know, I was closer with other guys.
No, I mean like the best guy you played with.
Oh, the best. Kobe, the best. He's the hardest worker I've ever played with.
Okay.
And he is a student of the game, and he's self-made. And I've told people that before, and they kind of look at you funny, but it's like
what that means.
Yeah, like look at like Drew Brees the other night, right? He's self-made, so like I like him more than maybe a guy that's more talented. Doesn't mean the guy took shortcuts, but he just doesn't have all the God-given. Kobe's the same way. Kobe made himself that type of player. Usually some of those guys, and Rob, you can attest to this, that there's guys in the league that literally don't know what's going on, like have no basketball IQ.
Well, they're so gifted.
And then they just are, but they're just so, and you're just, you know, envious in a positive way. You're like, man, look at this. Can you imagine if I had...
Guy can jump out the gym. And
Kobe had the athleticism, but he made himself. And so, like, I've told, you know, kids that I've coached, I'm like, he literally was a guy that was lifting at 4 a.m. He was getting his jumpers up. He was watching film. He was a self-made player.
He will, after
games. Player.
So it was weird. Like, that reminds me. After a game, he was watching film, and I'm like, what are you watching? And he was watching the play, like back-to-back plays where he said, if I just threw this pass over my shoulder, he would have gotten it. Like, that's the type of mindset he's thinking, all like things that you're not normal, like you wouldn't think about making that pass, but he's looking at it like, if I threw this behind my head, like over my shoulder, and get it to so-and-so, he could finish that to a layup or something like that. And he's always constantly reviewing and going over what, and thinking about things that are, for most people, unrealistic. But in his mind, everything is possible.
Yeah, it's
like you tell him, hey, look for the lob. He'll say how high. Just throw it up as high as you want, man. He'll go. I'll
see the world differently.
Man, he feels like he's invincible.
Best friend teammate in the league.
Probably when I was in LA, Luke Walton was really good to me. His family, cool dude. You know, so then multiple teammates that you still keep in touch with every once in a while. But yeah, Luke Walton was just made you feel comfortable. But that whole Lakers team, we had great chemistry. That was part of the reason that they were successful. Is every guy was, you know, pretty much on the same page. There was no, you know, clashing of personalities or anything like that. Everybody can kind of be themselves, and that's what I think Phil Jackson does a great job of, more managing, of just allowing guys to be them, you know, because as a pro, you understand the pressure, you understand what's at stake if you're, you know, on that team at that time, and, you know, it's towards Kobe's end of his career, and so to add pressure as a coach would be mind-boggling. And you see it sometimes in sports and how they conduct with the media and stuff and how they handle guys. Like, he just allowed guys to be themselves, and it just was an open atmosphere, you know. Now it's hard to find in pros is basically what I'm saying. Like, you don't get that very much.
You opened up a floodgate here, and I have to ask you because you brought it up. There's 2 types of people in this world. Are you a Bill Walton guy or not a Bill Walton guy in basketball games? Obviously, you have a relationship with him.
You know, I'm going to plead the fifth because I don't watch the games. I'm always
I guess that's true.
That's good.
So I have the right to not incriminate myself.
Oh. McNeice and Wheeler Attorneys, thank you so much for having us. There's a spot there. He's pleading the fifth. Your top 5 Zags.
Okay, we're going to just all time.
All time, 1 through 5.
Does it have to be by position?
Well, here's the thing. You buy position.
See, that's stupid then, because then what if you have guys that are the same? You know, like, it's just, you should just do all time.
Let's do your all time 5, but here's my thing. John Stockton doesn't count.
Okay.
Because he's outside of the current era.
Yeah.
And obviously
he's a Hall of Famer.
He's one
it's
of the
an auto answer.
Yeah. It's a different stratosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so number 1 for me, and through the era from when I was done playing into now, is easily Domas Sabonis. And I was lucky enough that year that I came back and finished school, I did a grad system for 2 years just to be around. I maybe said like 3 things basketball wise to him, you know, because he's that good of a player that you didn't need any guidance at all. It's like, don't go over anybody's back was like the only thing you'd have to tell him, you know. He was the hardest worker I think I've seen out of college kid, and he was just such a motherfucker. Like when it come to playing, like he just kicked the shit out of people, and so he's number 1 for me, no question. Number 2, Ronny Turioff. I think him bringing in the international, he was the first guy besides, you know, like if we're going way back, like Axel Dench, like, you know, hardcore Zag fans would put that on me. So, you know, besides that, Ronny's like the first high talent guy then too, besides Dan, I guess you could say. But so Ronny was kind of the first. And that's an NBA guy, right? When you look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. That's an NBA player. Okay. So I think what he did with that, just being a, first foreigner and taking a flyer basically was amazing. Because he was on those France teams with like Tony Parker. Who else was
Boris
in that era? Boris Diaw, like those U19, like they started like, he was a highly touted player, and he just goes to Gonzaga out of nowhere just because he likes Tommy. So he started a lot of that. Let's see. This one's tough. I'm going to be. This is complete bias, but I've always had Derek Rabbio as my point guard every single time.
I told you.
Rob has Derek Rabbio as a starter.
And a lot of times people don't understand how good Derek is unless you like played with him.
You have to see him play,
or
man.
play with him in pickup or something. Like he has ridiculous handles. He could shoot.
This era would be ideal for him.
I know, because of the floor space
and the point guard,
you could shoot threes whenever you wanted.
Ideal. He would be. I think he had people looking at him for an NBA team.
Absolutely.
If he was playing in this era, because no one could steal the ball from him. His handles were on straight.
His handles are stupid. Yeah,
like his handles are like some and one. But I feel like he just kind of had to taper it down, and you played with him, so it seemed like when he was here, he had to like restrain himself from getting out of control.
Derek was so good ball handler. He would do like he'd catch and just put it between his legs real quick and then swing the ball, you know. So like it didn't make sense, but it was never late.
Yeah, right.
So, but like Fewy and Billy fucking hated that. So like he had to like Rob was right, had to like figure out how to contain it.
He would put if they would let him they would let him get down. He would probably be like Pete Maravich type.
He had a stretch our sophomore year. We beat UW at home. He had like 26 or 24 against Nate Robinson and Trey Simmons. And then we played Jarrett Jack, who might be still in the NBA, Georgia Tech, and he had 24. So like Derek could play. A lot of those guys on the team, obviously their shine got taken away from me, you know, because of me. So he definitely is in my top 5, always has been, and I know it's complete bias, but
because I told him that one of our first episodes. I said he's just people don't realize how good Derek
shoot the fuck out of it.
Can shoot from deep.
They finally opened up and let him shoot like 6 threes a game, and I always thought it should have been 10. and he was that good. Like, because it looks bad on the stat sheet, but like that's a layup for that type of, not a layup, but it's a higher percentage shot. But nowadays they would tell you, they'd be like,
Trey Young.
They'd be like, fuck it, shoot it, man, and it would have been fine. So I think you're exactly right. Like, not that Derek isn't great or wasn't great, but like in this era where it's less physicality, couldn't touch him. He was nice, like for real.
Interesting. Interesting you put him on there. You got 3.
I got 3. These ones are tough because you go down the line. Kelly.
I was going to say.
Kelly's got to go on there because Kelly set the standard for how to redshirt, I guess.
The ultimate redshirt success story.
Absolutely. And so, I played with Kelly before that, and then I played with him during that summer that he had after that redshirt year. And it was, he was literally night and day of a player. So I've always respected him for that. And
I think people don't realize with Kelly is he kind of did it his own way in the sense of he was like 6'5" when they were recruiting him, then he became 6'7", then 6'11", but he still had guard-like skills to the point where like he could do all the things he was doing that breakout year. And I think he just stuck to his guns where they really, and nothing, coaches, all they wanted him to do is just run and post up.
Yeah. And
he needed that in his game, but it really helped his game by sticking to his guns and playing to how he's comfortable, because it showed. Because he wanted to be out there and handle the ball and be able to bring the ball up. And that's really one of the biggest things for him that was a breakout. He stuck to his guns and Coach Few let him stick to those guns, and he really, it helped him, I felt, man.
5.
I'm biased again because I've talked about mostly guys that I've played with, and I wasn't supposed to, I'm trying to go complete era.
Yeah.
But I played with JP Batista.
That horse.
And he's
that's a horse, man.
He is. And he was 19-10 my last year. And the year before, I think he was like 12-8 off the bench when he didn't play as much. So JP was always just, one of the strongest guys I've ever played with at any level, no question.
Fundamentally sound.
Fundamental. He
shot the bank.
Shoot that turnaround bank shot. They had that face up and
wasn't going to out jump you, but he still was going to out rebound you.
He would just murder guys on screens just by standing there. So I loved coming off his screen. His weight. He was the only guy when I was there. Because now it's a little bit different, but we used to have to go to weights all together. Mm-hmm. Shut the fuck up. I don't care what your schedule is. Get your ass in the weight room.
Right.
And it's different now?
Well, it's
different. Classes.
And the training's different. Like, we just kind of went in it. We knew what we're doing, but it's more precise now. Like, we were going in there just pump iron.
Okay.
And he was the only guy they let him lift by himself. And I went and watched, was interchanging one time when he was lifting, and he literally was using like the 120s on the incline. You know what I mean? This is a basketball player.
No, he's
fucking cleaning like 4 whatever. Like, it was insane, man.
Arms are massive. Just a mountain of them.
Him and Earl got in a scuffle one time, and Earl pushed him and kind of scraped him a little bit, like it slipped and hit his face. And JP is Brazilian and did it like a jiu-jitsu kick and kicked Earl like right in the side of the leg, and he like dropped him
and Earl's done for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and Earl
can't afford it.
But it was like, this guy's, like 260 solid, 270 whatever, and you can mix in some jiu-jitsu, like, I don't have a chance, man. Good luck.
I think he went back to his France team.
Interesting, you went 4 bigs.
Yeah, well, the guard stuff, the top 10 for all time is more, I guess, applicable, because Jeremy Pargo is obviously fantastic. I played with him for 1 year. Kevin Pangos was fantastic. And then we got Rui and BC, all guys that do their own.
Well, Pargo's a perfect example. I think Pargo was the first guy, the inner city guy that we brought in, and it was kind of all right, this is a change of the program in the sense of like he broke that barrier in that sense of like, okay, we got a little bit of flavor onto our roster. That's what I felt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he took a kind of a flyer himself and, really changed, I think, how Coach Few would view certain types of point guards as
For
well.
sure.
Because he was more athletic. He really couldn't shoot when he first got here.
But he could get to the lane.
Get to the paint every single time. And if you've played with him now, like he's gotten so much better. Like, and I'm always just like, in my head, I'm like, fuck, you could have figured out a throw, but like he can read screen and rolls and shit now in the right way. Obviously
he's
still
unbelievable.
He's still playing.
And he's had such a great career.
Yeah. He's played for high level European teams.
And
really
he's played in the NBA. He took a pay cut just to go back to the NBA.
Yeah.
People don't realize he took a pay cut to go to the NBA. And so he has so much talent and so much game.
Adam, thanks so much for your time, man.